Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Electronic Cafe where we are celebrating albums that are 40 years old, and in this particular episode it gives me great pleasure to talk about the fantastic Speaking in Tongues by one of my favourite bands of all time, the magnificent Talking Heads.
Talking Heads were one of the classic post-punk bands that came from the US East Coast CBGB scene that also spawned the likes of Patti, Blondie, Television and the Ramones, just to name a few.
There is a story that Byrne decided with their new funk direction. It all happened after watching our friends Certain Ratio support them in Manchester. Whatever it was, Byrne kind of used the music to smash up the mainstream. This album was self-produced and expanded the lineup with extra synthesizers and percussionists, and perhaps took that period of the group probably as far as they could go creatively.
The album was their fifth album, and the distinctive cover was designed by David Byrne. The album was self-produced. The previous three albums were all produced by Brian Eno.
The thing is, so many bands have copied the sort of textured but really compact funk style. But the good thing about that is this makes this still feel fresh today as it did the day it was released, and it will probably still sound that fresh in another 40 years.
With this album, Talking Heads found their way to open up the dense textures of the music they had developed with Brian Eno, and Speaking in Tongues is often regarded as their most popular album. As always, David Byrne sings or chants non-linear lyrics, with his charming goofiness returning after the Remaining Light and Fear of Music albums.
Look, for me, one of the greatest bands of their generation, and in Byrne in particular, a total genius in every aspect. If you think about their live video, Stop Making Sense, it's been voted regularly as the greatest live music video of all time. More recently, Byrne's live set or live show, American Utopia, was voted by Q magazine as the greatest live show of all time. Fortunately, I saw it at the O2, and I have to agree, I've never seen anything better live. I still get goosebumps when I think about that night. It was just incredible.
Two singles were taken from the album, the brilliant Burning Down the House and This Must Be the Place, with a further one, Swamp, released only in Australia and Holland.
The good thing about this album, it has one of their strongest anthems, and I think their highest charting track single, Burning Down the House. This album is full of class, and it's totally worth discovering if you haven't heard it, or for fans that love Talking Heads, just go and revisit an old friend. Happy 40th anniversary, Speaking in Tongues, by certainly for me one of the all-time greatest bands ever, Talking Heads. Enjoy.